Hello everybody, hello all the Frédéric Chopin's music lovers and enthusiasts. Today I'm recording a special video analysis about a newly discovered Chopin's Waltz that was recently published by a New York Times and played by Chinese pianist Lang Lang and made everybody in the world in a shock. How is this possible that after almost 200 years somebody found a Chopin's piece that nobody knew and never heard? That's a mystery, and definitely we have to wait for some expertise, especially it's very interesting for me what the National Chopin's Institute in Poland, in Warsaw, will say, and all the other Chopin scholars. But today I just want to make a short analysis of this piece and try to ask the question that I'm sure every one of you has. Is it possible that it's Chopin? First of all, well, I played this piece, I learned it, I played it a lot because I always, whenever I want to make an analysis of a piece, I play it first a lot so that it comes inside my blood. And from my first experience and what I feel, I have to say that it is very likely a Chopin piece, although it is a little strange. It has also some strange dynamic marks, which might not be original, but the dynamic marks sometimes in the posthumous pieces by Chopin were not original, so maybe we can skip the dynamic marks. But what struck us from the very beginning is that it is extremely short. So I frankly, of course, maybe it says waltz, but I wouldn't really call it a waltz. It is just a sketch of the first phrase of, I would say, the introduction and the first phrase of the idea of something that could possibly be a waltz if Chopin had finished it. Now, let's make a short analysis of this. The introduction is a little unusual for Chopin. It's very dark, of course, but it starts from, we have octaves in the left hand. Only octaves, that is more like Liszt, not really very much like Chopin. Like to keep repeating octaves all the time. But of course he used octaves a lot in the accompaniment. For example, in this. Of course he used, so it's not that he never used, but this is, you know, here in this nocturne I've just played in C minor, we have octave and a chord, an octave and a chord. Here we have only octaves. But how is the introduction constructed? So, first we have the first motif. That's the first motif. And the idea of this motif is to build up the energy to this, which could be a Chopin's chord because it is not a casual chord. Here we have, if we take, well, this is not an analysis for musicians, so I'm not talking about dominant, subdominant, and all this stuff. I just want to show you two notes here in this chord, which you don't hear, but I will play it for you now. Only two of them. Deep pain, which is very characteristic to Chopin's music. So apart from those two notes, we also have So it is actually a normal minor chord with it contains a diminished fifth and the fifth. This is for musicians, but just a little bit harsh. Did Chopin use this? Well, of course he used, but only when he wanted to express a deep drama, I would say, right? But here, why a drama in a waltz? Waltzes in Chopin's music were always dances for salon, for aristocratic salon. A few posthumous waltzes are of course more sad, but they are still very aristocratic in a style and in a character. This is rather, I would say, sarcastic, ironic, because from the introduction we don't know that it is a waltz at all, right? It reminds us of which piece? Right? More like a scherzo. And these chords, I think the composer, whoever it was, liked this chord because we hear it 1, 2, 3, 4. We hear it 4 times here in this introduction. Let's listen again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times, and it keeps. We keep building a drama which explodes here. Here we have triple forte, which means as loud as possible. Chopin didn't really use this kind of dynamic, so that is something that at first when I saw it I thought, no, it's not Chopin. But maybe if he really wanted to express the feeling of panicking, of drama, then we have this very painful chord here that he expresses. And so the introduction, it starts with a phrase and then look, repeated second time, but then only the ending of this is repeated 2 times more. Right? So if we have a sentence, for example, I suffer so much, then here, if this is the first phrase, then we can describe it in words, this introduction, like this. I suffer so much. I suffer so much. So much. So much. And then, right? Then it's a huge explosion of suffering. And then the real waltz starts. Left hand, a typical waltz. In the bass we have always the same note. The note A. That's why it's so dark, actually. It's quite dark. And then, how is the right hand constructed? So this is like the first part of this. We can say that it's the first, the question. It is constructed in a Chopin's way, although, listen to this once again, the first phrase is repeated, but not from the same note. It's repeated from a higher note. And this is also unpredictable for us, just like in Chopin's music, because instead of going down, Chopin goes up and is building the phrase. So listen again. Down. And the second phrase should go. Instead, it goes. So he opens it, right? Let's listen again. And now what happens here is we have 2 voices. A little bit like in... So again, Liszt. Is it Liszt? We don't know. But what we really have here is it's two voices, but the most important voice is in lower register. It's at the bottom. Listen this. So we go pa, 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 and then there is a conclusion of this phrase. And this is the first long musical sentence. Let's count the bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exactly 8 bars. Is it 4 plus 4? Let's count the bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, this is 4 plus 4. And it's so sophisticated, actually, that we can easily say that this is written by a genius, by a very, very talented creator, composer, because it's not at all predictable, and it makes us, I would say, excited, or is it better to say anxious? Maybe that's the word. Let's listen again to this phrase. Repeat it, but higher. And then we listen to the lower voice with this pa, 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 pa. And then the conclusion. And then the same sentence starts. And what happens here? For the first time in this waltz, we have smile on our faces, because Chopin is changing from minor to major. From A minor we goes to C major. From minor to major in a very beautiful way. And this is very Chopin-like, definitely. Let's listen again. Let's compare this with the first part of this waltz. So the first time we had this. Right, we went up, but we stayed in the minor. The second time, it sounds like this. So this is really fantastic, because the melody is almost the same the first time. The second time, it's, believe me, the same. There's only one note which is just a little different, but the rest is the same. But what is changing is the color, the background, so the chords that we have here. So, and then we have the conclusion. So Chopin built the tension here, and then released the tension. Is releasing the tension here and then ends, but he ends only the first phrase. It is not the end of the piece. Then we have the repetition sign, which was quite popular in Chopin's posthumous waltzes, that we repeated for the second time the same thing, and then it should be something else. But probably Chopin just didn't want to continue. That we don't know exactly. So that's how it sounds. Let's listen to this again. The introduction. Drama. And then the waltz. Starts again. The first phrase. Repeat it. Two voices. And again from the beginning. Now to the major. And the conclusion. And the end. That's how it sounds, and thank you very much. I hope maybe this is more clear now, but we still don't know and are waiting for the expertise of professionals. Thanks a lot.